I want to thank Magambo for this effort of trying to make you belong to Uganda. So, when you call yourself a public servant, a public servant of where? Of Uganda, or UK, or where? If you say you are UK, then of course you are in the wrong place, because this is Uganda. The Uganda have described it to you. So our advice that time was, why don't you get the small salary you get, but handle the issues of welfare collectively. In the UPDF, we encourage the building of army schools. Why don't children of biological children, not relatives, not what, because that also becomes another complication. Why don't the biological children of the soldiers, and by extension you can say of the policemen, of the even other public servants, if they had listened to us, but they were not, many of them were not even listening to what we were saying. Even if I'm getting a small salary, but if my child is studying free in an army school, in a primary school, a secondary school, a technical school, maybe when it comes to university, it may be difficult because it may not be easy to build army universities and so on. But at least these lower levels, our children could study free through our institutional institutional facilities. You address the issue of education of your children. Health can be addressed collectively by having army health centers all over the place. Housing, what General Tafuri is talking about. Houses built by our own internal capacity. The UPDF brigade, engineering brigade, is doing a wonderful job. They are building so many facilities and doing it cheaper, because when you use private people, the private man, many of them don't have their own money. They go to a bank, a commercial bank, moreover, and borrow money at 18% to build, if you hire them. Then, so if you are going to build a facility for 100 million, it is now going to be 118 million. 18% for the bank. Nothing to do with the houses. You are making money for the banks. Then the company want a profit. They want a profit of 20%. So you add another 20 million on the 118, so it is now 138 million. Then, because they are a private company, they pay tax, VAT, 18%. So now you have added another 18 million on the 138. It is now 156 million. Now, many of them don't have their own transport. They hire vehicles of other people to transport the materials. So a building that, a facility that would have cost 100 million has now gone to 180 million or something like that. So I told the soldiers, why would you allow this to happen? Why don't you, and you have got these engineers of the young people finishing Makerere who want to join the army, the police, civil engineers who can come and they are paid and they build. You give them equipment and they build facilities for you at price of the materials, because they are already being paid by the army, they don't charge anything. So the only cost you have are the materials to use. We have been talking about this, but I don't know, I have not had time to discuss it with you in detail, but I really think this is the correct way to go. Trying to use private, the business people come, they want to do this for the, that's a trap. It will be very expensive. The APDF is doing very well now. They have built so many facilities. You can go and share with them. Now, so that one would solve the issue of institutional housing. Instead of these policemen, as General Tafuri is saying, staying in Mukono, in all those places, stay near the workplace. And you walk on foot from your house to the workplace. This is what we recommended long ago. It's not a new recommendation. But people don't listen most of the time. They have their own solutions. Now, that is on the side of the welfare. So now, when it comes to remuneration, like recently, when some few years ago, when I insisted to you people, you are all wonderful people, learned and so on, very clever people. Even the way you dress, we can see that you are very learned. But in order to maintain a road, we need an engineer. So if we don't have enough money to pay all of you well, why don't we start with this engineer so that he can maintain the roads for us? And then the matoke can come from the village, and then we create more matoke, and then we earn more. And the doctor, so that's why I insisted that the scientists are paid more. Fortunately, some of these groups are not so many. Like if you look at the government scientists, the researchers in the agriculture, the engineers, civil engineers, they are not so many. So actually they can be paid because they are smaller, but they are very crucial. The doctors. Then slowly we said, okay, we added now the prosecutors. We shall get to everybody. But these number plates of Tampeco, the old ones, they just remove them or change them. But this digital, you touch it, the central command is alerted. That's what I liked about that technology when I listened to it carefully. And I said, can it work? Then people went and they said it can work. If it can work, that would solve so many of these problems. Because that would mean the criminals who would fear using cars, fear using motorcycles. If they start using bicycles or walking on foot, then that will mean they will be less efficient. So therefore, I would want to advise you people, make use of technical solutions. Discuss them thoroughly. Don't bring business groups. People are lobbying for businesses. Then you become their agent. You, instead of being a police officer, you are now an agent of business people. Get the technology. So whenever I get some of this technology, my first question is, can it work? Is the science correct? If the science is correct, then we move. So therefore, these technical solutions will help you. Now, regarding the other digital telephones, social media, absolutely, you need to get equipment for that. Therefore, coming to the crime data center, I totally support it. We shall have to build it. And the forensic center, I don't know what happened. There was talk about it. We shall have to work on it. I like the ideas of Justice Abodo, like the land issues being handled promptly, locally, instead of filing lawyers and so on. That's you study Abodo's idea of handling them off grid, directing the villages. You study it. Now, finally, the issue of bail. Because this issue of bail, if the case is ready for trial, I think is really a big mistake. I can understand if the case is not yet ready for bail, after 6 months, you can think of bail. But if the case is ready for trial, why do you not try it and finish it? Especially if it is a case of murder or corruption, like in the case of these politicians, or rape or treason. Why do you concentrate on, even for the accused? I would want to say, you try me quickly and I prove my innocence. Why do you want to prolong it? So I think the Attorney General should see how to help us on the issue of bail. The Chief Justice, through Chief Justice's instruction, had clarified that applying for bail is a right. You can apply. But granting bail is not a right. It is a decision.